Hello and welcome to my April bullet journal setup. I cannot believe it's already April. We're a quarter way through the year. It has passed so quickly and I'm so excited for the coming month. This month my theme is loosely Six of Crows, the book, and I suppose the show Shadow and Bone. It has completely taken over my life. I don't know what is going on right now, but every thought I have is about this series. So of course my bullet journal had to reflect that. I think it's important to say right now that everything you're seeing in this bullet journal was kind of traced. I think that tracing is okay if it's like not, an independent artist's work and you're not doing it for profit. I traced the font because I sure can't do that freehand, and I found some photos of crows and copied them as well. Maybe that makes this less good to you, but this is just my personal diary, I just wanted it to be Six of Crows themed. I actually love the way the font came out. It is a little bit different because I don't have a very straight hand and it did get a little wonky here and there, but I quite like the way it turned out. But with that said, I think I'm just gonna talk about this series for a while, which maybe is a little repetitive if you saw my last video, which was basically me just kind of screaming at a camera about how much I love the books and the show. But I really do just adore this series. I had Six of Crows on my TBR from before it came out. I remember hearing about it and thinking it would be something I'd enjoy, and then it came out and I just never got around to it. I bought both Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom probably 2 years ago, and it sat on my shelf unread until last month, and I'm so glad that I've read it. It's incredible. I think it took me so long to read because I knew I would love it and it would kind of take over my life, which it definitely has. Every thought I have is about this series. There is a playlist on Spotify called Kanej Taylor's Version, and I have been listening to it every day. It is them. Every song is about them. I love it so much. Every song I listen to, I find a way to relate back to this book. I can't watch any shows other than the Shadow and Bone show. I can't read any books. This series has put me into a total reading slump because nothing is Six of Crows, and my solution to that is simply rereading. But I told myself I wasn't allowed rereads this year, so we'll see how this goes. Here I'm just setting up my calendar, my monthly overview. Now, that title page did look a little bit boring. I do go back to it and add a little bit of color, and by a little bit, I mean a little bit. But yeah, I do the same monthly overview and habit tracker basically every month. I've found a system that works fairly well for me and have just kind of stuck with it. If you saw me kind of pausing when I was ruling up the grid at the kind of top row, it's because I didn't want to block out the days that weren't days. That doesn't make sense. On that top row, there's the 30th and the 1st, and I wanted the rest of them to just be one long rectangle, and I didn't do that. So there was a moment of oh, come on, why did I do that? But it's totally fine. I ended up just putting some color in there and just clearing out the space. I have a bad habit of leaning over too much when I'm filming, and you just see bits of my face. So sorry if that's weird, but there's my nose. I'm rereading Six of Crows at the moment, and oh my god. This morning I got to a particular quote that I adore. It's the first quote that I highlighted and kept going back to before I allowed myself to reread it. It is such a beautiful quote, and the last line of it feels super weird without context, but I love it so. I guess this is a spoiler warning for a random quote, but without context it's not really that spoilery, but fair warning. So the quote goes, "He needed to tell her what? that she was lovely and brave and better than anything he deserved, that he was twisted, crooked, wrong, but not so broken that he couldn't pull himself together into some semblance of a man for her, that without meaning to, he'd begun to lean on her, to look for her, to need her near. He needed to thank her for his new hat. Oh my god, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? That quote is so insanely beautiful, and I could just cry about it. I know this sounds super dramatic, but that's what this book has done to me. I am a bit of a wreck about it, so yeah. Just by the way, I did a random dot on the habit tracker because I wanted to remember what color I was going to use for that. I ended up going through and adding that color elsewhere, but anyway, yeah. So that quote has been on my mind a lot. Honestly, it will be the death of me. I can't stop thinking about it. There are so many Kaz quotes that just hit different. I'm sorry if you can hear the rain in the background. I kind of can't control the weather, and it sure is autumn. This theme really does feel right for this month. The weather has kind of turned grey and cool and wonderful. But yes, we're onto the weekly spread now. I ended up doing the first, I think, 9 days because I do it by week and the week starts on a weekend and I didn't know what to do, but whatever, it doesn't matter, it's not important. The numbers didn't turn out great. I was trying to kind of use that same font, but the numbers look more Alice in Wonderland than anything. It's very Tim Burton. But that's okay. It's whatever. I assume that for the rest of the month I won't do those numbers just because, one, I'm a little bit lazy, and two, they don't look the way I wanted them to, which is totally fine. I did them for the first week and made my mind up about them. I do kind of like some of them, looking at it now. I do think some of it's kind of cool, but anyway. It feels so strange to care so much about a book again. I went so long just not caring about anything I read. Like, there were a few years, basically throughout the pandemic, where I just didn't care about anything. But this year, I have had so many books that I just love. So many 5-star reads, which is so rare for me. I never rate anything 5 stars. But the first book I read this year was 5 stars. That was If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. Incredible. Also, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. An incredible, incredible book. 5 stars. And now I've read 6 of Crows, which I originally gave 4 stars, and I think I'm bumping it up to a 5 just because of the way it's completely taken over my life. But yes, here is me adding some of that red. I think it ended up kind of cool. I don't know what to call this. It's just kind of like dots and almost streamers, like just little wiggly lines. I don't know. I'm not an artist. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing this for fun. I don't know. But yeah, I am head over heels in love with this series. The characters are all so good. Everything about it is so good. I'm just so happy right now, which feels strange because that happiness is owed to a book. But here we are at the final flip through. Wow, I just talk a lot, don't I? I'm really happy with how this setup turned out. It is simple, as all of mine are, but I do like having just the little crows around. I love crows, the characters and the birds, but yes, that's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry for another video of me just kind of ranting about 6 of Crows. Ranting's not even the word. Gushing. I love this series. But yes, if you'd like to see any of my other videos, you can subscribe. I upload twice a week. You can like this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.